So I want to show you some of the tools that I use to create videos with. So first, and this might seem counterintuitive, but my video intros, the animations to those were actually made in PowerPoint. So if I hit Shift F5 to present, oops, I hit my keyboard here. Go all the way back. So this animation is made entirely in PowerPoint. That's the animation you normally see at the start of my videos. And now that audio was something I added in. So I'm going to kind of show you how. So if I go and we start to look at this a little bit, we go to animations, animation pane. You can see that what I did was I went to insert, and I basically kept on making oval shapes and filling them with this same image. So if you right click on an oval and go to format shape, you can change the fill to some kind of picture. I don't have many choices on here. There we go. Perfect. But what I essentially did was kept making these oval shapes, like you can see that, and stacking them so they're basically like concentric circles. So lots of ovals stacked on top of ovals. And you can see the largest one goes way, way out there, bigger than the size of the slide even. And then look at what I'm doing. So in the animation pane, I have that open so you can see the animations I applied. This logo area is in the middle. I kind of grouped that. So this is a logo with a border kind of behind it. So I made a square with rounded corners and kind of added some shadows behind it. And then I essentially started animating all of these. So notice what's happening here. Let's go to animations. So I have this start with previous applied, and look at the durations of these. So these animations are grow and shrink. So that's when it kind of expands out and kind of wobbles like that. It goes woo. So with all this growing and shrinking happening at these different kind of incrementally increasing intervals, what we create is that, I'm trying to make sure I didn't undo it. What we are creating is a ripple effect. And then what I'm doing is I'm having my logo kind of fade in, and that's what you're seeing. It starts at 3 minutes and 75 seconds. So it's like or that's the duration. It starts just 4 milliseconds in, and then or 40 milliseconds rather, and then it just slowly fades that icon in, and then this is when the icon fades out, it exits, right? So what you're left with is this neat animation effect. This one flutters. I love it. So now I'm going to show you how we can actually export this to a video. So check this out. I'm going to, I think I'll just temporarily delete these so I can just export this, and then I'll Control Z that later. Go to export, and then I can say create a video. And I'll just, see I already have it here with the audio included. So I'm gonna just, let's go to a different folder. Let's go on my desktop. There, that's a suitable title. Click Save, and you should see a progress bar up there. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I want to make sure user recorded timings and narrations. Okay, so that should work. Now here it is. Let's see. Love it. So I guess what I forgot to mention is I also did a little fade in at the beginning. So now let's add some audio to that. So to do that, I'm going to first find a suitable, whoops, that was something. I was trying to come up with a title for this video series later. I realized outtake is not quite the right definition. So let's try to find free audio samples intro. Pixabay is a great website for getting royalty-free stuff, meaning stuff that you can use and put on YouTube or wherever and not worry about being copyright struck, not having to pay for it or credit anyone. So here's a cinematic intro. It's a bit extra. Let's try to find. Ooh, that could work. A bit intense. Okay, so I like that one. This is a little weird. I wish I could find the one I used earlier. Cinematic strings. Definitely not that one. Nope. Next. Let me try logo reveal. See what we find here. Too intense. This is it. That's the one. I'm gonna download that. Okay. Very cool. So now I could actually do this in PowerPoint, like you can totally import audio in PowerPoint and like cut it, but it's just like you have the tools here to do that, trim. Is there a way to see my total duration? It's just, I don't like. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a video editing tool to do that. But yeah, you could do this whole thing in just PowerPoint. So I'm using a basic track editor that's free on Windows and Linux. And it's similar to OpenShot. I like it just a little bit better. It's called Shotcut. And I like it better just because of the interface mostly. And I'm going to just do a new project. Let's just go here, PowerPoint, animation. And I'll just name it intro animation. Select. Oops. Oh, I see. That was the folder. Intro animation will be the project name. All right. And now I can do this. I can add clips to my playlist here. So I click playlist and add files. And I'm going to add, that was a different project. I'm going to add my video here. Okay, it didn't like the something about that, so it's making a copy that it can use basically. And I'm going to go ahead and drag this down to this track here. So I'm going to right click down here, say track operations, add video track. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 of these. Click down here, or actually, never mind. I just need 1. Just Control Z. What I need is an audio track. So now I have both. And then I'm going to drag this guy down here. So now I put that on the editor. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this audio down here, and then I'm going to trim it so that it's even. Okay. So let's see how that goes. That's actually timed fairly well. Like sometimes I kind of have to play around with the time. Let me try that. I dragged it over just a little bit. That's actually not bad at all. Now, I noticed one thing, my audio was hitting way up here in the red. So watch this. See how that's peaking up at 0? We want to keep that in the green-yellow area. So I don't want this getting much louder than about -5 decibels. So what I'm going to do is go to filters here. And I have this audio selected. If I click here, it's going to try to apply that to the video. So that's important. And then I'm going to click the plus sign, and I'm going to search for gain. And actually not gain. There's something easier. I'm going to search for normalize. And I find that applying the 2-pass one works better. And you'll see it did something over there. Analyze, whatever. Okay, now let's try this again and check the audio. Nice. I actually think we can bump it a little bit louder than that. So I'm going to add some gain. And I'm going to try about 4 decibels. See how that goes. We can honestly bump this even more. Good, so I'm watching that peak, it's right at about -5, so that's pretty good. I just want it to be nice and loud. Export, loud but not too loud, the Goldilocks zone. And we have just made a cool video intro. Now, I say we go ahead and continue forth and just finish editing my entire video. So earlier in OBS Studio, I recorded this video of me teaching how to create a webcam overlay. Let me see if this is the right one. With this being digital content tools that I use. Nope, that was not it. Try this one. Hello everyone, so this week is digital. Hit delete and that's the one. Okay, so I'm gonna drag this onto my video track here. We can get rid of this track operations remove. And now I'm going to add a second video track here. Let me drag this. And I'm going to put our animation right here in the front. The one with sound right there. And then what's cool is with this magnet tool, I can it's going to snap really easily and just line that right where that ends, that begins. But then if I turn that off, I could overlap things, but I just need to snap that. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this right at the transition and see how that looks.
Hello everyone.
So see how that's a very jerky transition? Well, that's where I can apply another filter so it's not just like what we call a jump cut. So if I go to fade out video, I can change the timing here. It's set to just under a second. Let's see how that looks. That's better, but it's still, it just snaps right in there. What we need here is a little bit of a fade in. That's going to be about half a second. Let's see how that looks.
Hello everyone. So this week is digital.
I like it. Now I'm listening to my audio. It's very, very quiet here. So I'm just going to do what I did earlier. I'm going to first apply a normalize. Let that do its thing over there. You know what? Actually, this is going to take a while. Forget it. Remove. Okay. I'm going to just bump the gain by, I don't know, 8. See how that goes. Show you some of, still quiet. Let's bump it up by, let's try 12. The tools that I use to create I think this will be about right. Digital content. Honestly, it's process, folks. It's process. So today I'm going to show you how to. That's just a little bit hot, so I'm going to put it at 15 and call it a day. So now we have our cool animation. You can hear the sound in it. Hello everyone. So this, and there we have it. You'll be seeing this video on YouTube later. Now, before I export this, check this out. If I go to, I think it's, is it player? No, it's settings. Go to video mode. This is where I tell it the resolution that I'm gonna work with. I have it set to Ultra HD, so it's gonna take a long time to export, but I like that high resolution. Let's see, how to make webcam overlay in GIMP. Click save. And, ooh, I forgot to save this project. Nah. And now you'll see this job working up here. And when it's done, it will be at 100%. So I wanted to show you that, these tools are really not that hard to use. Like, honestly, making that animation in PowerPoint is harder than using this video editor. So I hope that encourages you to try this out. And this is just one video editor. You know, Apple has its own. You can use OpenShot. There are so many out there. So find one, try it out, see how it goes.